I coach affluent divorced women.
So that's a new one that we didn't have before. Right? That wasn't there before. Was that there before?
Cougar.
We didn't have a chapter of that yet. So say it again. What I would do is I would coach affluent. Hell, this sounds like good. This is good. Everyone wants to do this.
Cougar coaching. Yes, cougar coaching.
It's what I've been doing. It's just what I've been doing.
So he's taking affluent women who have lost a lot of things that were in their life, and they have a crushing self-esteem issues and all sorts of things that are very difficult, a special series of problems, because their identity is tied to their society, and they've lost their standing because their queendom has been rocked. It's really hurt. Their social networks and all that sort of thing. So they get very disenfranchised and depressed and all of these things that go on. And so you're telling them about their greatness and about what's coming next in their life.
Coaching them through that, yes. I'm not so much telling them, but he said bringing them to a higher state of awareness, of consciousness, and of their greatness, that they have the false belief that they're separated from that. And I just have them sit in the coaching space to where they realize that and be an expression of that.
And they recognize that everything that's happened is they can detach from their blame and their judgments. They can let go of those things and take the lesson and move on.
Right, and so the work that we do on the mystical side has to do with the separation of either I'll always be ignored or I'll never be heard, I will always be abandoned, and all these things. And we look at the behaviors we have that actually create the abandonment or the people ignoring us. And then once that's tore up, you're at a state of awareness to where you can attract.
Okay, now, when you do this, how are you going to create this operation in all 50 states?
It's a great question. Through group coaching, but to create it through having employees in all 50 states as a franchise, it would be through a workbook and having other people do it.
Yeah. I think you need to think in terms, what do you call the company for that? What do you call it?
Naming right now is Westlake Coaching.
That's a powerful brand. So, we need to have a brand that brings this to the women's attention in a way in which they can, see it, right?
I think cougar coaching is cool.
We need to create a
I don't think the women like the term cougar.
Response.
I don't know if they should they like it.
They don't care.
We need to come up with a way in which they can feel it. And so I think we need to make it powerful and to give them some sensation for it. And I think it's something like I'm trying to the problem I'm coming up with is that we have, it's a toilet paper problem. We have to have the Charmin squeeze by the day because we can't really show what we're doing here. We don't want to focus on the pain of the wealthy divorcee, and we don't necessarily. The service could only be provided to those that are wealthy.
No. But it's those are the ones before.
Good answer.
That's a good answer.
Absolutely. That's terrible.
I'm usually pretty good. You always want to know too, do I get stumped?
Speechless.
You're really good. You're not easy. I want to tell you.
He knows we're in support of him now. He knows. No.
I want him to write a book. And I want to have this book be the problem I have is I keep coming up with negative names to make it come around so they'll buy
New
it.
life coaching.
So what I had was Alice looking in the big looking glass,
That's weird.
right? And I've had assholes in the looking glass.
Oh my God.
Wonderland. Your new life is just beginning. By you, Reverend, whatever. And say, will you be on every talk show in the world with assholes in the looking glass? And I know it's negative, but as a super brand, I keep coming back to it. I went through all these positive brands. I keep coming back, this is a sell more. And people will come like crazy to you. And the first chapter is, the special problems of wealthy divorce. And we go through setting it up right there. And everybody talks about it in the talk shows. You can promote the heck out of that. And then, you can have, but the idea of Alice in the Looking Glass as a brandable, that is a brandable item to come out for a training series, a seminar series. If you had Alice centers or whatever we call them, that we hone the name down, all over 200 centers in the country, people would come into those, and you make them sitting rooms. In other words, they look like an Alice environment. They're high-back chairs, they're gorgeous environments, they're peaceful, they're meditative music, they've got waterfalls and plants, gorgeous,
You're describing my house.
Yeah, well, that's what it needs. It needs to have that environment where they feel like they're still in their normal environments, and they've come to this very wealthy-looking Louis Vuitton kind of environment, Oriental and feng shui and all the different things, but they're feeling the elegance, the theme rooms, they're feeling comfortable. There might be 5 or 6 theme rooms that you can get into, and so they're coming. Today I'd like to have coaching in the Asian room. Today I'd like to have coaching in the Latin room. Today I'd like to have coaching in the EU room, and so forth. And you have these different environments, right, in this little retail center. And they're getting coached in their different rooms and appointments, and the trained facilitators are all certified in doing the training and following his protocols. And now he's got a company that he can really sell. He goes on with a series of the protocols. Now, either we do this very seriously and reverently, or we do it with the tension of the contrast of a very serious metaphysical trainer and humor and the contest between them to sell it. Assholes in the looking glass, bitches in the looking glass, and so forth. No, I know, but they'll come running and buy it as men will come running off the bookshelf for it. Because it's the second series after the first helping. Now he's doing wealthy men. And I'm saying you can run this right down into a business that's really big. And so I'm not saying that I'm absolutely right, but I'm in the right direction to get him a brand that lifts him up from where he is now, which is a kaleidoscope that never comes into focus, right? Except on the one thing where you can see him in his passion, because you can see he's gifted at it and loves doing it, and really makes a difference with the people he's coaching. And he loves the difference he's seeing. So he can train others to do it. We can make it in, but it is a brandable mission. We've got to make you a celebrity brand, and we've got to find a way. I don't think there's a way to make the talk shows work and to get out there without adding the humor element.